The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Folks, welcome to the April 23rd, the wonderful Wednesday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. Yeah, let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. Now, the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 11 o'clock in the morning. I do want you to know that I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here. But even more important than that, that's this. In the next 53 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to send me an email, send it off early, and send it to Steve at TFNN.com. Inside the subject heading, please put radio show question. Of course, if you're inside our Tigers Den, well, then any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on wonderful Wednesday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. Well, we've got quite a rally out here. You've got the Dow up 974 points, 2.5%, 3% for the S&P, 160. Nasdaq's up 4%, 700 points. Russell's up 3.25%, 61 points. Nearly 3% for the trannies, 372 points there. Nearly 6% for the semis. That's a 225-point move. Nasdaq Composite up 4%. That's 664 points to the upside. Now to the downside. Spot VIX, but still above its 50-day exponential moving average, straight out of 27.77. It is still in contango. We'll take a look at that in just a few moments. You've got gold that's off 121 bucks. Silver's up 61 cents. Light sweet crude off $1.41. Natural gas up 3 pennies. The 30-year Treasury up 1 point and 7 ticks. Currently printing out 114.26. Leaders in the clubhouse, dollar-wise. Mettler Toledo 77 bucks. Service Now 60 bucks. Monolithic Power Systems, 38. Duolingo, 35. Axon Enterprise, 34. To the downside, Lennox International off 29 bucks. Watsco down 24 bucks. Teledyne Technologies down 10.5. CME's off about 10 bucks. Checkpoint Software down about 10 as well. So we got movers and we've got shakers. Let's begin our day by taking a look at what? Well, this is kind of interesting. We're going to take a look at the New York Stock Exchange, the Advanced Declining Oscillator. I'm going to do that momentarily as soon as I get here. You know where we're at? We are now above the plus 150 level. If we close a day above, here's the deal with regard to the plus 150. When you close above the plus 150 level, and you go back, you can put this indicator on your charts out there. Every time we close above plus 150, it leads to higher price. Not necessarily the next day, not necessarily the next week, but it leads to higher price. That says that this high that we're seeing today, as long as price the advanced declining oscillator closes above the plus 150 level, there's higher highs to come. It may be tomorrow, but so that's the thing that you want to be able to watch for. Now, this also, puts us into a overbought condition. How about that? Remember, we took a look at the minus 150, the minus 250 level here. I don't have a plus 250. It's just the 150 is really all that you need to know. Now, you can see the bottom panel is a spot VIX index. It's approaching the 50-day exponential moving average. But as we turn over and take a look at the symbols, the future contracts, current future contract for May is 25.20. All other future contracts are trading lower than that. We are still in that contango operation. What does that mean? That says that for the 3-month, the 6-month, and the 1-year ratio, where we take a look at spot VIX versus the 3, 6, and 1 year spot VIX index readings, they still remain above that plus 1 area. That says that bulls are nowhere near out of the woods just yet. We get below that, then we at least have a bottom pattern for that low that came in on the 7th. So this says, hey, nice rally. Being above the advanced decline oscillator of the plus 150, we should still get higher price out there, but we just don't have that confirmed bottom in this tool, in this indicator, until we get out of that contango position out there. What else do we want to take a look at here? Good question. Let's take a look at Goldilocks. So it looks like we at least nailed at least a short-term top. I think it is more than that. If we take a look at gold priced in all the major currencies out here, you can see that we made, now the beauty here is that gold was moving higher in all major currencies for the most part, but it can also move lower in all major currencies. And here's the danger. The danger is we've made a high now in all these major currencies on that same day. And we've all of a sudden begun trading lower out there. In some currencies, quite a bit lower. If we take a look at what's going on in the Middle East out here, gold did the same thing. It made new all-time highs yesterday in all these Middle Eastern currencies, whether it was the Iraqi dinar, the Syrian pound, the Saudi riyal, the Jordanian dinar, the Egyptian pound, doesn't matter. They are all now moving south out there. Folks, I can't describe a larger caution sign than these two charts out there. Now, if we take a look at the primary trading ranges, the diagonal price channels out there, this is the weekly time frame chart out here, this price channel. So what you do here is you establish that first price channel. And it was easier to do by taking a look at the actual tops out there, and then coming down and identifying the lows. So that's once you get that first price channel, most tools will allow you to replicate that, either that exact length, that distance, if you will, to the upside or to the downside. And so I didn't touch this thing. I haven't touched this thing for the weekly time frame, horizontal trading range charts, for ages. But look how price, when I pulled that open yesterday, maybe it was after the show or maybe it was during the show. I just can't recall, but we were talking about how price was running right into that level out there, a potential level of resistance. The other thing that we were looking at was the U.S. dollar index. But we really weren't looking necessarily directly at the U.S. dollar index out there. What we were looking at, let me go ahead and shorten this. We were looking at the currency pairs that make up about 83% of the U.S. dollar index. Those being the euro, the Japanese pound, the Japanese yen, and the Great British pound. Don't worry, I'll get it out of my mouth out here. Now, you've got a TD9 count top and a sell the D point top in terms of the euro. What we're watching here is for the euro to stay below and close below its green oscillator and change line. And that's currently printed at 1.138. As long as it does that, the euro should continue to move lower. Its price target would be 109. That happens to be the TD9 count breakout level. If it does that, the U.S. dollar index is going to continue to move higher and likely put some pressure on Goldilocks. In the case of the Japanese yen, it formed a TD9. It's going to complete a TD9 count bottom pattern today. Prices trade above its oscillator and change line. As long as it remains above that being 142.30, you're likely to see a move up to 147.71. In the case of the Great British Pound, it completes a TD9 count top today. It has tested a key level of support, being that green oscillator and change line. So its signal right now is neutral. The euro is not neutral. The Japanese yen is not neutral, but the pound is. But if the pound closes below its oscillator and change line, that's currently printed 1.32563. If you really want to get granular out there, if we do get a close below that, that's going to suggest that we move lower. Its price target would become $1.28. That's its TD9 count breakout level. Finally, before we go to the breakout here, if you take a look at the main contract for Bitcoin, it's forming bar number 8 today at profile resistance. It will likely form a TD9 count pattern tomorrow, completed on Friday. That suggests that it should retrace, just like Goldilocks. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. while this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening Call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched The Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. So we're taking a look at the charts here for Goldilocks. Got the daily, the weekly, monthly time frame. Monthly time frame, as we've talked about, is going to go ahead and complete a TD9 count top at the end of the month. The weekly time frame chart is likely to go ahead and form a TD9 count top next week and complete the pattern the following week. However, if we do get a bearish reversal candle at week's end, you'll have a sell the D point top out here. And in the daily time frame chart, we've talked about that. Price is trading below profile. Now, this is showing the old profiles that are out here. I can change that. Give me a moment. In fact, I should change that so that it can pick up early. It can pick up the potential change in profile. So give me a second here to do this. Make that quick modification out there. Right now, it's just waiting for the bar to close, and we'll see that new profile that's coming into play out here. That's really not why. Oh, wow. The profile has now shifted. Quite interesting. So the profile earlier this morning at about 9 o'clock, 8:30, was below price. Now we've got a new profile that is wrapped around price, bullish in structure. So it's got a buy zone between 32.25.10 and 32.56.70. Again, I do not know. As you can tell, the profile is shifting. So I won't know until the end of the trading day, to the beginning of the evening session, whether this profile comes to fruition or not out there. But you got to use the data that you've got at this moment in time. So for those of you looking, Z, I know you said you were in the Tiger's Den, you're probing for a pullback bottom. Well, now you've just been given a gift here. That gift especially will be wrapped nicely if it in fact is in place at 6:01 this evening. But you've got a buy zone, so watch that 32.25, 32.56 level, and then watch your intraday charts for your signal out there. Of course, the profile doesn't form. Well, then we're back to the existing profile that exists, and it's right around the 3,200 level. That would be your first level of support. Now, that's all well and good out here. But what else do we know? And here's what we know. We know that the last time that we had this nice rally, 4-month rally in gold, that took us into the October 20th, 2024 high out there. What did that lead to? A 2-bar move to the downside. And if we take a look at the, we had a 3-month rally, a 2-bar move to the downside, 2-bar rally, 2-bar moves to the downside. So we are now at that stage. Not that it can't rally further, but when you got these topping patterns, we took a look at the rising price channels. Here's what I want you to prepare for, folks. I want you to prepare for a 2-month pullback. I'm not talking about a 2-day pullback. I'm not talking about a 2-week pullback. I'm talking about a 2-month pullback. I'm saying that's what we prepare for. So you've got that out there. I want you to just realize that is a real possibility just based upon the cadence and based upon the patterns that we've got here in gold. Of course, if the U.S. dollar index really has found a significant bottom out there, that would likely add to this. But we got to take things one step at a time, but make sure that you've got that in the front of your mind, not the back of your mind out there. I don't think there's anything else for me to cover here in gold. I think I've accomplished that task. So let's go. We've got a couple of requests that have come in. Would love more. So if you are listening live, would love to hear from you. But let's go to send it to Steve at TFNN.com, or of course inside the Tiger's Den. Any ping will do. So let's start off by taking a look at Tom G. Wants to take a look at the NVIDIA. So does most of the other dinners out here. And NVIDIA, it's got a nice daily and weekly bottom pattern out here, continues to consolidate with inside its daily profile. Price right now has basically gotten into the sell zone. It's a fairly wide sell zone, Tom. It's between 105 even Steven. The high of today so far is, looks like maybe just short of that, is at 104.80. Not that that matters. The sell zone is between 105 even Steven and 112.87 out there. So you're just heading into a turbulent zone. Robert had asked about volume. We'll talk about that in a few minutes out here. But if we take a look at what price is going into, it had a downdraft on the trading day of April 16th, 397 million shares. In just less than 2 hours of trading, NVIDIA is up with 109 million shares. So we'll just multiply that times 3. We get 300 plus million share a day going into a 400 million share a day. So price is moving into that area with lighter volume. You're coming into the level where both buyers and sellers believe there is fair value within inside that total range of 91.87 to 112.87 out here. So it's kind of at a point where buyers and sellers aren't sure which way to push NVIDIA out there. So hope that makes sense, and I hope that that helps you out, and best of luck. We've got a request to take a look at, Robert asked about volume. So how am I going to do that? His question basically, and I am paraphrasing here, does volume matter on the way up, or where does volume matter out there? So I'll share with you my response to that, but I've got to get that screen back up. Sorry about that. Didn't realize I had done that. Here we go. So what I'm going to do is take a look at the index ETFs. That's going to be the easiest way for me to do that. So when I take a look at the index ETFs, first, where I think, for me, and I think Tom would also acknowledge this, where the volume aspect comes most into play is at the swing point. And that's where it's helping us to understand, is there enough volume to possibly push up through where the sellers are located, sort of what we did when we took a look at NVIDIA. Here I've got the index ETFs out there. And so, at the end of the day, I cover each index ETF and every sector inside the S&P 500 for subscribers out there. If we take a look at yesterday's price action as an example, and I know, Robert, you probably looked at this as well inside the evening update that I did. But if you look at the swing point that we're dealing with here, in most of the indices, most of the index ETF, most of the ETFs out there, is the day of April 7th. The volume on that trading session was 256 million shares. What took place yesterday was a test and rejection of that high. We tested that with 75 million shares, and we closed above it. It told us, or what it was signaling to you and I, is that there were no longer the sellers that were in volume that there was on April the 7th out there. And so a test to reject that swing point suggests that we had higher. The head higher was up to the top of the profile, 533.17. Now, I will share with you that I don't use the data. So I use the when it comes to profiles and patterns, I'm really looking at the ES Mini versus the SPY. Why? Because I'm about pattern recognition. That's why you're also listening to the show, I would think. And pattern recognition says the more data you have, the better the signals are. Now, in this case here, you've got price that is taken on. Let's take a look at the SPY. Price is taken on a swing point that had, not a swing point, but it's taking on the candle session that first day to the upside on April the 9th that had pretty big volume, 241 million shares out there. And we're coming into that with about 300 million. Sorry. That was something else I was looking at. So we're at 36 million shares so far for the SPYs. So that takes us to what, about 100 million shares? So we got 100 million shares going into a day that had 241 million shares to the upside. So it's not exactly like it's exploding. It's certainly not going to confirm an A to B equals CD to the upside with volume. If it closes above that level, you'll have the A to B equals CD pattern. It just won't be with volume out there. So that's what was going on with regard to the SPYs. Does it need volume on the way up is really your question. When you are passing through a swing point, it would be better to do that. But does it have to? No. Volume is one step of one leg of the stool. I mean, let's be really clear out here. There's a number of different indicators. Basil is known for using the stochastics, right? So the stochastics are going to be similar, not exactly the same, but they're going to be similar to the relative strength index out there. Would you put both of those on your chart? My response would be no, you use the one that provides you with the best information out there. So the stool or the table, it needs 4 solid legs. And volume is only one of them. It's an important leg, just like the other 3. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
This year has already been a wild ride for the market. We started off heavily in the red, reversed back to all-time highs, and we now have a trade war looming. Trying to play this chop as an individual trader leads to death by 1,000 cuts. Where does this market go next? Should I add to this position or cut my losses? Where is the next opportunity? Tariffs? Trade wars? Analysis paralysis. Don't become a victim of this intense market. Instead, join Larry Pesavento over the second and fourth Friday of every month for 3 hours of live trading. Larry has been through many markets just like this one, and the insight he provides is invaluable. The dates for this month are April 11th and 25th, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern Time. Get in here and let's start trading. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Trader's Edge is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direction.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direction.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. So when we were taking a look at the, I had mentioned that in order to call the markets, I use the equity future contract versus looking at the SPY, the Qs. Now, I shared that information about the SPY and Qs and each of the sectors inside the S&P 500. I'd more rely on those than the index ETFs out here. But here's an example. If I were to put up the SPY for right now for a 60-minute time frame, I seriously doubt we're going to see TD9 count tops out here. And what I like is I like synergy. What you like, you should like synergy as well. Right now, we take a look at the 60-minute time frame for the ESENQ, the Dow, and the Russell 2000, each form TD9 count tops. So that capped their move to the upside. Now we've got price doing the normal thing that it should do, retrace back to support. Well, we can see on the 60-minute time frame for the ES Mini, price is below its green oscillator and change line. So it tells us it has lost its momentum for that time period at this moment in time. Of course, the chart's not going to close until 12 noon. So between 11:31, where we're at right now, and 12 noon, price could close back above that level. Right now, because price is below that, we use the data that we have. And what's going to price? Where should price head to? It should head all the way back to 53.88. That's its TD9 count. Each of these have TD9 count tops. That means each of them have TD9 count breakout levels. So 53.88 for the ES, 681.75 for the NQ, 39.747 for the Dow, and 19.30.40 for the Russell 2000. Just because price is pulling back doesn't mean it's over. It means that we've got these patterns because you don't have a rocket ship to the upside. You don't have a torpedo that moves to the downside unnecessarily. So here what we've got is the moving back and forth. Of course, I did share with you that spot VIX index being in contango is a problem for the market out here, and the spot VIX being above its 50-day exponential moving average. So right now it's time to watch these support levels. What happens if price closes below that? Then we look for other support levels. You can see the profiles that exist right now on the 60-minute time frame below those breakout levels. So take a snapshot of this picture if you're wherever you're at, and you'll have that data for you. I'm going to go ahead and close this out, and then we're going to go take a look at we'll take a look at a blank screen, I think is what's going to pop up here momentarily. And then we're going to go start taking a look at a couple of the requests that have come in. Tesla for Sanel and Joe, TSSI, and SLS for Dude, XPEV for GTE, and Wheat is what I've got in the queue out there. So let's get to at least one of those. We don't want to look at a blank screen, Stevie. So let's go ahead and take a look at, well, that wasn't what we were going to look at. That was the SOX out here. But as long as we're here, you've got on a daily basis, what has the SOX done? Right, we took a look at about a 4% move to the upside in the semis. In the case of the SOX Index ETF out here, TD9 count bottom, what's price doing today? Running right up into resistance where those sellers are at the top of their profile, 175.87 out there. So that's what's going on really with regard to the SOX. Now, let's go take a look at Tesla. What is Tesla doing? TSLA. Let's get the data up on our screen. It should take about, hopefully, 10 seconds or less to go ahead and populate. Otherwise, I need to shut a few other things down. I may have too many things open at this moment in time. But Tesla on the daily time frame is trading above the top of its profile of Sanel and Joe. And if it can do that at day's end, stay above 250.11, and tomorrow, that would be a bullish sign. It's got a daily Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom. What would that mean? It's got a bullish sign. Two consecutive closes above 250.11 will bring 270.11 into play. 270.11 is the top of its weekly profile. We can see that 3 out of the last 4 weeks, prices run right up into that level. Again, that level being the top of the profile, 270.11, where it has found resistance. So that's likely the next target for Tesla. Not much else really for me to share with you, San L and Joe. So I hope that helps you out, and thanks for your request. Let's go to TSSI. Let's go see what instrument this is. They're really not going to tell me what it is, but let's go see what it's doing. I'll look at that on a different screen. Wait a second here. TISSI. It's having a TISSI fit. TSSI is, oh, great. It's TSS Inc. Oh, that helps us out a whole lot, doesn't it? Well, it is what it is. Now, you've got a nice daily TD9 count bottom, dude. That formed a couple of weeks ago. That was probably on April the 7th, but that was just a quick guess. Yeah, April the 7th out there. And now you have price trading above the top of its profile. That's at 718. 2 consecutive closes above that suggests that we had, this is a bullish structured profile. So you got 718. As long as price closes above that, would indicate that price should make its way up to 873, the top of its profile. Now, the last time that we were up here was on the trading day of April 15th. The volume behind that candle session was 700,000 shares. So far today, you have got 466. So we know that this has got more volume, Robert, as it's pushing up into a little, that's like kind of a junior swing point out there. But the real swing point is the one from the trading day of April 9th. That's the one where price closes above. It triggers an A to B equals CD pattern to the upside out there. The volume on that was 1.1 million shares. And again, so far today, we're at 467. So that's going to be pretty close. It is. It's trying to take that out it's moving into it with volume. So even if it doesn't test the high of that April 9th session is 787. If it still closes below that high and we've got the volume, it'll go signaling to you and I at least wants to go test it, maybe take it out. That we don't know. What's the weekly time frame chart doing? Well, it completed a TD9 count bottom pattern last week. It has a new profile. You have support at 639, resistance at 1096. And finally, on that monthly time frame, price found support at the bottom of its profile at 696. So in essence, you've got a bottom on the monthly, a bottom on the weekly, and a bottom on the daily time frame for ticker symbol TSSI. That's also known as TSS Inc. out there. How's that for being Mr. Smoothie? Let's go take a look at SLS as well. SLS is typically it's what you see on a Mercedes, right? On the back of Mercedes. But this is that's what really pops up on my screen too as soon as I put that up there. How about that? But let's go with that symbol. See what that is. It is, that's not helped me out either. So Stevie kind of screwed up there. Let's just take a look at what? It didn't even put up the charts. Oh my gosh. What are we doing here? And we're going to get this. Don't worry. You hang with me. You know, you can knock me down, but I get back up. Period. So, and it hasn't even populated here. What in the Sam hell is going on? Yeah. And nothing against Sam out there, but what is going on? There we got SLS right now. And so we take a look at SLS. It is trading. So it formed a new daily profile yesterday. And that daily profile, it's a bullish structured profile. It has a buy zone between 124 and 127. And prices run right up into where the sellers are at, and that's at 137. Now, the last time we were up here was 2 days ago. We were up here with volume on April the 17th. Of 1.8 million shares. Today we're pushing into that swing point with 625, so about 1.8 million shares. So you've got so what price needs to do, dude, is it needs to close above that 137. And if it can do that, well, then I have good news and bad news. It says it goes higher. That's the good news. Bad news may only go to 144, the top of its weekly time frame chart. That's what I see when I take a look at SLS. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. We got a request out here to take a look at XPEV for GTE out here. You know, the daily time frame chart for XPEV, this is a China stock out here. It's really hard to, if you really want to trade this, I would get on the China exchange that this is on, because it's going to give you better data. All these gaps out here on the daily time frame, these are all currency conversion aspects out there, but I'll still give you my best. And my best says that right now what price is doing, it's taking on a swing point from back on April the 14th that had volume of 12.7 million shares. It's doing it so far today with 6 million shares. So it's got the volume. It should be able to push up and over that. If it just closes inside that, which means between the range of 2056 to 2125, then that says that price will at least go tag that 2125 level. Now, if it takes it out and closes above it, especially if it does it with volume, you'd get a confirmed A to B equals CD pattern on the upside. I won't go ahead and draw that in. The upside price target would likely be 2477. The monthly time frame, which has a TD9 count top, did find support near the bottom of its profile at 1597. So its work to the downside may be done. You want to see a weekly close above 2050. That's its weekly oscillator and change line. If it does that, it increases the odds of move up towards 2467. So the weekly is saying maybe 2467. The daily is saying maybe 2477. It has to prove itself. And on a monthly time frame, really not helping us out at this moment in time. So that's what I see. GTE, when I take an XPEV out there, hope that helps you out. YOY inside the Tiger's Den wants to take a July wheat. And the specific question is, has it bottomed on the daily time frame? And the specific answer is, no, it has not. I have no bottom pattern out here whatsoever for the July contract. Right now, what price is doing on a daily time frame, Y, is it is trading below its red oscillator and change line and below the center of its profile. So that increases the odds that price will make its way back to support once more. Support being the bottom of its profile at 538.05 out there. This is going to be day number 3 to the downside. Maybe get a 4th day to the downside. And then a bounce. This is going to be week number 2 to the downside. It might be week month number 3 to the downside out there. And on a monthly basis, you do have a TD9 count bottom. But we've got nothing on the weekly to help us out, nothing on the daily to help us out. I wish that I did. I hope that answers your question. And as always, thanks so much for your request out there. Let me see. So I don't have any other requests that I believe inside the Tiger's Den. If you had posted a request out there and I overlooked it, would you be kind enough to go ahead and put that back in? Or if you've got a new request, just simply go ahead and do that. But taking a quick peek here on the phone for those emails. Lee writes in, and Lee wants to take a look at Mind, M-I-N-D. So let's do this. Let me go to my quicker charts out here, the quickest chart. M-I-N-D. You own it for the longer term. Thanks. And can I give you the rundown? Absolutely. So Mind is trading at... Come on, work for us. $7.20 out there. So it is trading above its daily profile. So it closed above daily profile yesterday. It is a profile change in trend. That alone can be a bottom, so I'm not going to go try to find any other daily bottom out there. And that suggests that what price wants to do is run up towards 780. And 780 is the TD9 count breakdown resistance level for its daily time frame. Lee, on a weekly basis out here, what I don't see is a bottom, and I see price running into resistance, and resistance is 742. So I know I said it wants to go to the 780. That's what the daily chart is telling us, but the reason that we look at multiple time frames is to really understand what's going on above and below. In this case here, it's above. Well, the above us, it says 742 is going to be your key level that you'd love to see price close above. If price closes above that, I know you're a long-term holder, then what that would do, that would increase the odds for the move to 780. You get above 780, then we start taking look at 788, which is the center of its monthly profile. And then above that, we're looking at the 926, 1064, 1030 type levels out there. Notice I haven't said anything to the downside. Because it does look like this wants to move higher. But the real key here, Lee, is going to be that 742 level, not on Wednesday, but on Friday. Does price close above that area? If not, resistance will have held out there, and hope that helps out with regard to MIND. Let me see if anything else came in here. GTE again says, can we take a look at BX? So let's go take the BX out here. BX, see what this is doing. This will take a moment, obviously, to pop in. How about that hockey last night? Now, last night, that's the ultimate for hockey. What did we have, like 5 games on or so? Of course, the game I was most interested in was the the Tampa Panther game. The Bolts versus the Panthers. Great game, boy. The Panthers are looking very strong. Nice to have Kachuk back in the offense out there, and with the addition of Marchand. I mean, what a solid team. In any event, with regard to Blackstone, why didn't it come up? What in the heck is going on here? Try this one more time. So the chart that's supposed to be the quickest is the one that's given me the most problem. So we want to see what Blackstone is doing. I believe it's trading out at about $128, 128.03 to be exact out here. It's got a daily Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom. What it's been unable to do is get back inside its profile. So the bottom of the profile, 139.40, is your resistance level. So that's resistance. Support is going to be 117.84. So you got a nice daily Blackstone Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom. You got a nice weekly TD9 count bottom that completed last week. Price is still trading with inside its swing point. That's the swing point from April the 11th out there. The volume to the downside there was 53 million shares so far for the week. It's only halfway through. We're up with 14 million shares. Moving higher with lighter volume out there. It doesn't matter. What really matters is the fact that on a daily basis, we're below profile support. On the weekly basis, we're below profile support. Now, should this rally, what you'd be looking for is you need to see a close above 144.04 on a weekly time frame. Why? Because that's the level between 139.82 and 144.04 is where a counter trend move would come to an end. Now, the monthly says I may have bottomed. It had a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top, price finding support at the bottom of its profile, 124.50. The month is not over, but it has found support there. So you got a bottom on the daily, a bottom on the weekly, bottom basically on the monthly time frame. It's just cautious. They're cautious bottoms. What's a cautious bottom? I don't know. I just made that up. It's a cautious bottom out there. We'll have to trademark that. And so you got to watch this 139 area, 139.40, 139.82. So I hope that helps you out there, GTE. You also wanted to take a look at maybe KKR. So we've got about 30 seconds before I don't know if this is going to work. Let's try it, though. KKR. It returned. Should populate these charts. Pretty sure I know what I'm doing out here. But But let's see. Oh, so you got KKR, daily Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom, weekly TD9 count bottom, monthly holding support. Look at all these charts that we've looked at. You know, I mean, you've either got a major bottom out here or you got a major bottom that's going to take out. And we're going to have much lower out there. And we've looked at just too many charts out here. Hey, this is traded above the top of its daily profile, but it's traded into that swing point from April the 9th. That had volume on the way up of 13 million today so far. This is done 2.6 million shares. The real resistance level here, it's the bottom of that weekly profile, 111.21. That's the number that you need to see price close above to suggest that this thing wants to rally significantly further. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pros pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey. Because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, folks. So we're going to close out the show, take two symbols here for Mohammed. Mohammed, thanks for writing in. VRT is the first one. VRT is forming an A to B equals CD pattern to the upside for its daily time frame. So the swing point or the B point of this VRT is the trading day of April the 9th. Volume there was 18 million shares. So far today, we're up with 14 million shares. So big volume day. Now, let's take a look at this. Let's draw on the A to B point out here. And then let's just go ahead and simply move this over to the C point. That's the lowest low after that. So the problem here, and I really hate doing this, but I have to do it, is I'm going to use the exact same candle because that's the low really out here. So you can see we're above the 1-to-1 level. All this says now is, Mohammed, if a bearish reversal candle were to form, a red candle is not a bearish reversal candle. That just tells you where price opened and where price closed out there. If you were to get a bearish reversal candle, that would confirm a sell the D-point top. We don't have that as we speak right now. What we do have on the weekly time frame is a TD9 count bottom. Price finding resistance at the center of the profile. Remember, the center of a profile is where both buyers and sellers believe there's fair value within inside the range of the entire profile. That's between 63.72 and 99.15. So you've got resistance at 83.97. Your next resistance on a weekly basis would be 89.45-ish. That is the red oscillator and change line. That's what price really wants to target out there. The monthly time frame, which has a Rhodes momentum indicator top, did find support at the bottom of its profile. So it may have bottomed on the monthly. You've got a definite bottom on the weekly. And I'm going to guess if I go back far enough, we can see a buy the D point pattern that formed on the daily time frame. Now you've got an A to B equals CD pattern to the upside. So it's a resistance zone that you really got to be watching, 83.97 to 89.50-ish or so. Let's go take a look at Checkpoint Software, CHKP out here, see what that is doing. You've got this trading. This is trying to form an A to B equals CD pattern to the downside. On a daily basis, pushing into a swing point from back on April 7th that had volume of 1.8 million shares. So far, you have done 1.2 million shares. If price closes below today, 200.05, you'll have an A to B equals CD pattern to the downside. Weekly says it wants to go target 188. Folks, stay tuned for all the great programming. Thanks much for tuning in. I'll look forward to seeing you again tomorrow at 11 a.m. sharp. Have a wonderful Wednesday and be safe out there. Take care.